Warning! The following podcast may contain language and subject matter not suitable for all ages or everyone. If you don't like what you're listening to, please press stop. In this episode of the Changwoner Podcast.
You are then buried in the snow 6 or 7 meters up with a tree in front of your face and no way to get out.
Jesus.
Dark.
What would be like an ideal future destination for snowboarding for you?
It's got to be Japan.
Man, down in Okinawa they had a monkey bar. And it was just
on.
like, and you just put on like a rain jacket just in case the monkeys shit all over you, and you go into this like glass room.
You stamp your hand with this giant syringe, and then you walk into the bar, and they put you in a jail cell. So you're sitting in this jail cell.
Alone?
No, with like your group of people.
Yeah.
You're tuned in to the Changwoner, the podcast coming to you from Changwon City, South Korea. With your hosts, Scott, Adam, and Phil.
It's the Changwoner Podcast, the podcast that brings you some of the lives of people living and working here in South Korea. Once again, I'm Scott. Sitting across from me is one of the hosts, Phil. Phil, how's it going?
Pretty good.
And sitting beside him is the other host, Adam. Adam, how's it going?
Good day, how are you?
Not too bad. This week we've got a special guest. We got a former host of the podcast who was here originally when we started this whole thing out. We got Mr. Paul Roberts sitting beside me. How's it going, Paul?
Good to be back. It's going great, thank you.
Good. So it's been a while since you've been on the podcast, Paul. Eh? It's been...
Jeez, it's been like, what, a year?
Yeah, maybe a little less. I'm not sure. The last time you were on, I'm not sure.
You've upgraded everything here, right?
Yeah, we're in a different location.
Yeah, loads of new technology, about 25 cameras, you know what I mean? It feels like Big Brother.
Yeah.
Right?
1984.
Oh, yeah.
Top seller.
I remember all the technical difficulties we had when we had less equipment.
Right.
Now, just keep making it worse.
Yeah, keep adding to it. It's looking good, though. It's looking great, you know? In Chef's Kitchen as well. Fair play to Lou for letting you do this, you know what I mean? Like, this little room is awesome.
Very kind of him.
It is.
Yeah, so we're on the second floor, just underneath O'Brien's, really. We're kind of by the elevator.
It works out being so close to the bar, let's face it. I mean, actually, like, let's face it, last time we were actually in a bar, which was worked out very well. You know what I mean? Doing a podcast in the bar was cool. But it's close enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, have you done any snowboarding this winter?
I have not. I've been super lazy, and it's crazy because I was talking to a few guys last night, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we just like come into Korea for a couple of days, and we're off to Japan." I was like, "Oh cool, where are you going?" And they're like, "Oh, we're going snowboarding for 3 weeks." And I was like, "Oh, come on." I'm so jealous, man. I love it. Japanese snowboarding is awesome.
I can't snowboard or ski.
Yeah.
It's a big shame.
Right, it is. Shame on you. Adam?
I can cross country ski.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So, like, as in just, like...
Yeah.
That's pretty... You know,
It's
you
not
have
a plane.
You have to go for it.
It's pretty good. It's a good workout.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So, since when were you doing that?
Oh, I haven't done it in years, but it's the only skiing or snow activity I've really done, you know.
Well, why did you get into that? Was it like going to school or something?
Originally, it was a school trip, yeah.
He was going to school every
I
day.
really enjoyed it. Yeah.
In Canada.
There's no buses.
I was in Japan just recently, but I was on the other end. I wasn't up in Hokkaido. I was in Okinawa, which was really beautiful.
Yeah. No snow, though.
No snow.
Yeah.
I think one of the bartenders told me it never snows there.
Yeah.
Never.
You would think so, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you've been snowboarding in Korea and Japan now, right?
Yeah, I've been snowboarding several places in Korea and 2 places in Japan. Korea's awesome. Like, it's great because, like, Muju's so close to Changwon. That's awesome. And then Gangwon-do, you've got, like, Haiwon, which is pretty much, like, the biggest resort in Korea, I think. But, like, it's crazy because you can take a bus from Changwon to Muju. It takes, like, what, 2.5, 3 hours. But you can take a bus from Changwon to Gangwon in the middle of the night, and it takes, like, 3.5 hours. You know?
That's Haiwon?
Haiwon, yeah. And it's awesome. And it's cheap. It's like $100 for the Muju trip and like $120 to go to Gangwon-do. But I would recommend both.
That's with equipment rental?
That's everything included. If you need the clothes, I guess it's like an extra $5 or something like that. But it's good, man. But the only problem in Korea is it gets busy.
Yeah.
Really busy. You know what I mean?
You gotta dodge everyone.
It's just the lift queues, you know? Like sometimes at Muju, you get down to the bottom and you've got to wait in the queue for like 45 minutes, you know.
Oh, that sucks.
And high one's better because they've got like a heated gondola and there's no queues. But to be honest, if you're a snowboarder or a skier, I would recommend going anywhere in Korea. It's cool. But if you've got the time, go to Japan because then you've got the powder and you can go off-piste and nobody ever questions you. So you can just duck under the fences, go down into the valleys. It's super dangerous.
Yeah.
And you're like,
can't you just get lost?
oh
and,
yeah, you get like end up knee deep. And like the worst thing for me, like I was reasonably decent at it at the time, but the guys that I went with were real good because they were all from Canada, right?
They went with Valley, right? Mike
Yeah,
Valley?
well, Valley and me were kind of on par, but the other guys were really good.
Okay.
And they were like, they had the GoPros and all the shit on, and they were like, let's go off piste. And this was like, we'd woke up in the morning and to an earthquake, right? So the beds were shaking. So we went to the top of the mountain, and they were like, nobody go off piste because of all these avalanche warnings, right? Which avalanches are terrifying to me, completely terrifying. Right?
Yeah.
And the guys were like, okay, so let's hit it and go off piste. And I was like, oh, God. So obviously I followed them into the valley, you know, and the boys took off and I hit this nice, like pristine bit of powder. And I was like, oh, this is so nice. Why has nobody been riding this?
Untouched.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh, this is great. And I was gliding down. And then, like, you just couldn't see anything about, like, 10 meters in front. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I just came to, like, a grinding halt at the top of a massive drop. It was like a huge cliff. And I was like, yeah, shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? And then, but the problem with that is then you fall down because you've stopped, and then you're waist deep in powder. That's heavy. And then you can't get out. And your board's on you. And it takes you about 45 minutes to get out of the powder. And then you have to pretty much like claw your way back to the actual run. It takes about an hour. And you're knackered after you get there, you know what I mean?
That gets really dangerous in some places with deep powder.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's people that fall down. If you fall down, like, say, on your stomach, when you go to put your arms down to press yourself up, they just sink.
So
there's nothing you can push yourself up with.
So what you have to do is there's a method. It's the same as trying to push yourself out. You have to kind of pack the snow, and you keep packing it for about 10 minutes.
And eventually you build a home and live there.
Yeah, well, that could be a thing. But eventually you pack the snow enough where there's actually some kind of like resilience, kind of whatever you call it. And you push yourself, you push yourself out. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
A lot of places, people have to wear those, was it GPS things on them now? Because people that go to these random places in the world with deep powder, they'll go with a tour guide instructor, but they just disappear. Because they wipe out and they're gone in the snow. So they have to use the GPS things to find them and pull them out before they die type thing.
Don't they do a lot of like controlled demolitions as well?
They do, yeah. Especially in the Alps.
Yeah.
So they'll fly out there and they look for different like areas where there's going to be like, they think there's going to be an avalanche. And they put like essentially like dynamite. They put it into the snow and they bury it down the bottom and then they blow it up. And it just like triggers the avalanche and just gets it out of there before anybody else does it. You know what I mean? Wow.
That would be a real shitty way to die, eh? Like falling down, like face first, and then you can't push yourself up, so you're just suffocating.
I think the trick is to not panic, which is really difficult when you're not used to it. You know,
Don't start crying immediately.
Yeah. The worst thing though is tree wells. You know what they are?
What's that?
So what it is you've got huge trees in the like off the runs. And when it snows hard, it like snows kind of sideways, right? So it builds up against one side of the tree, but the other side of the tree doesn't get any snow. So it gets like a real thin layer on the other side. So there's nothing down the other side of the tree. So it's a hole, right? So if you're snowboarding through the trees and you hit a tree well, you'll go straight down to the bottom of the tree. But the tree's like, maybe 6 or 7 meters up, right? So you're then buried in the snow 6 or 7 meters up with a tree in front of your face and no way to get out.
Jesus.
Dark.
Yeah, that is terrifying.
Yeah,
Man.
terrifying.
Well, now I have a new phobia.
He's definitely not going to snowboard or ski now, though, is he?
It's even more...
Canceling that trip.
For me, it'd be more scary on a snowboard. I'm not comfortable, like, having my feet confined to one place. I like skiing. Done it for quite a while.
Right.
But I've never had the ambition or want to try snowboarding. I think I could eventually do it, you know. I've always been pretty good at picking things up, but I just don't like the feeling of my feet being confined.
Yeah, it's like anything, though. You get used to it, right? I mean, I've never tried skiing. Never. Not even
Just
once.
straight into snowboarding.
Straight into snowboarding. Me and Mr. Austin Buckley, we took a trip with like 50 people, went to High One, went to the top of the hill, strapped the boards on, night ski, never tried it before, fell all the way down the mountain for 3 days, covered in bruises. And that's how you learn. And then we did it. And it's all right. I'm saying night ski, I meant snowboarding.
I remember when you first started referring to Paul, like going to, was it Mucho a couple times with you? And
Well,
you
yeah.
were kind of just picking it up. You might have been once or twice.
Yeah.
And, you know, after the second or third time I went with you, I could see how you were getting better and stuff.
It's practicing it, you know.
I was kind of just following you behind on skis.
Yeah, because you could always ski, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You've been skiing like way in the past, right?
What would be like an ideal future destination for snowboarding for you?
It's got to be Japan.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, I'd love to go to the Alps, and I'd love to go Western
British
States,
Columbia,
British
yeah,
Columbia, that kind
yeah.
of thing. But I think Japan, like the thing about Japan is obviously the snowboarding's cool and all that, but like just the resorts are awesome, you know.
Yeah.
Like I stayed in this place called Nozawa Onsen, like Nozawa
Hot Springs.
Hot Springs.
Yeah.
And the village was just so like quaint, and all the little like houses were all like cool, and like they had loads of hot springs and wicked food, and obviously all the people are great, and the bars were so cool.
Yeah.
Like in another place in Miyoko, we went into a bar, and there's literally like a half pipe in the bar, and people were just skateboarding in the bar. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
it's
awesome.
just out there, you know. Like the Japanese, I love Japan.
Oh, they have such cool bars, man. Down in Okinawa, they had a monkey bar. And
Oh,
it's
go
just
on.
like, and you just put on like a rain jacket just
Yeah.
in case the monkeys shit all over you. And you go into this like glass room, and the monkeys
This
are
sounds
like,
amazing.
yeah, they're like these South American small monkeys, and they jump up on your shoulder, and like you can feed them almonds and shit, and
Yeah.
like they'll touch you, and they'll shake your hand or they'll shake your finger.
Do they steal stuff as well, like the Thai monkeys?
No,
Rich
like I,
wallet.
I talked to the girl who worked there, and I said, like, I hope these monkeys are treated well, you know. And she's like, yeah, we treat them really well, we feed them well, and you know, their place where they sleep and everything's always like cleaned out and shit. So,
Right.
I've been to a bar just down the street that was similar.
oh really?
Yeah, but it had girls, but you still had to wear the jacket because the girls would shit and piss on you.
Scotty,
Oh,
that
really?
is dark. We were having such a normal conversation.
I'm just bringing that up because
South.
it's probably true in Japan. I haven't actually been to a bar like that, but
Usually have to pay extra.
You'd have to
to
bring
cover.
them. You have to bring them.
it's probably next door to the
Bring your
monkey
own
bar.
poncho.
You can keep the same poncho on. Just go next door.
I went to a really cool bar. I think I don't know if you guys have been to Tokyo, yeah?
I've been a couple times, yeah.
Have you been to Roppongi?
Yes. Roppongi
So, like,
Hills?
Yeah. So there's a bar there called Alcatraz. Have you been there?
No, I haven't.
I remember you telling me
Yeah.
about it. I didn't go.
I've been there now about 3 times because every time I go to Tokyo, I'll go there because it's a theme bar, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's themed out like a prison, you know. So you turn up there and like there's a girl there, like you know how they like that like cosplay stuff. Like it's not like sex stuff or anything like that. They're just all like dressed up, you know.
Yeah. Just
So
the
the-
theme, right?
Like, the theme.
yeah.
So you got a girl there, and she's like in a nurse's outfit, and she's got like this giant syringe, which is the stamp to get into the bar because you need a stamp. So she's there, and she's like, "Ah," and she stamps your hand with this giant syringe, and then you walk into the bar, and they put you in a jail cell. So you're sitting in this jail cell.
Alone?
No, with like your group of people.
Yeah.
Not alone.
I feel like
They separate.
I was fun and all, man.
Cavity searches.
yeah. So
Spread 'em.
But you're sitting in this jail cell essentially, right? And then they close the door, and there's a metal cup like strapped to the bars, you know. So if you want like service, you have to rattle your metal cup around the bars.
Oh, that's cool, man.
and
That's
then
awesome.
like all of the food, it's all served like in weird shit. Like for example, you can get like a curry,
Yeah.
but it's served in a bedpan, you know, and it's like blue. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
And then like you get drinks, and it's like a severed head, but the glass is embedded in the severed head, and you're drinking out of a severed head.
But it's one of your friends' heads,
But
right?
the best thing is at midnight there's a jailbreak, and it's all themed, so all the staff are in on it, you know. So the alarms start going, and the sirens and the lights start flashing, right? And then like it's like this escaped convict who's dressed up, who's obviously part of the staff, starts running around the bar. And then the rest of the staff, like dressed in police outfits and stuff, are running around with like cap guns trying to shoot this escaped convict. It's absolutely
That
hilarious.
sounds so good.
Yeah, you gotta
Fuck,
check
I
it
wish
out.
I would have known about that because I've been to Roppongi Hills a couple times. I just went up to the Mori Tower or whatever. I just went up there, and then I just kind of walked around. But if I had known about that place, I would have gone for sure.
Next time, man.
Next time.
It's been a few years, maybe. Last time I was there was with you when we went to the UFC.
Yeah, the UFC. That was awesome, eh? What a time.
How long ago was that? 4 years?
Jeez. I think so.
Around 4, yeah. Maybe 4, coming up on 5 years.
UFC Live.
It was in February, I believe, so it was probably 4 years or 5 years ago.
But in all fairness, that the Japan UFC compared to the Korean UFC, not a patch. The Korean UFC was way better.
Oh, really?
I think
Just
so.
in terms of like atmosphere, you know. The Japan one was a proper UFC, and the Korean one was what was it? Like
Fight night.
A fight
So
night?
the Korean one was like a fight night. The Japan one was a big pay-per-view
Yeah, it was like
type
Benson
UFC,
Henderson
like one of
fighting.
the,
Yeah.
UFC 80 something. I don't know what it was back then.
Yeah.
But the fight card was better on Japan.
Yeah,
than
it was
than
way,
the
yeah.
Korean one, but
But the
I don't know
atmosphere.
which one. I loved it in Japan though.
Yeah.
Like the whole trip in general, I enjoyed more than our trip to Seoul for.
Oh yeah, like that. But the actual atmosphere at the UFC in Japan, like everyone's so reserved, you know.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah.
think they're watching sumo, so everyone's like,
Yeah. They're not
"Come on,
getting
just
into it.
get into it." Like you could literally hear a pin drop. So we had Bruce Barber, sitting at the other side because he was late to get a ticket. So we could actually, like, it was so quiet that because it was on TV, we could actually shout obscenities over to Bruce Barber, and you would be able to hear it on TV. Did we do that?
Somebody yelled something to Bruce, and
think
he yelled back anyway. So we
was
could
like
tell.
that. But in Seoul,
you
it
write
was
it
just
down?
in Seoul, it was just madness. Everyone was going crazy, and it's just so much better like that. You know, that's what you need, right? Like a UFC needs to be like, you know, high energy, everybody going crazy, right?
And the other thing that sucked about the Japan UFC was where it was located. It was kind of hard. It's like an hour train or something we had to take, or subway to get out there. And there's nothing around there really. And obviously when it was over, you know, it was whatever, 15, 20,000 people trying to do the same thing to get back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And it was like noon when it was over. It started real early here because it was a pay-per-view, like live back in the States. So it was on at whatever, 8 p.m. in the States.
It was like,
But
11.
it was like, you know, yeah.
Because of the time.
9 a.m.
Yeah,
in Japan.
and then you're hitting it because you want to watch UFC after a few beers, and it's
Yeah,
like 10 o'clock in the morning.
You want to feel it, but not really.
But once you're inside the stadium, like with the lights off and stuff, felt like night. And then by the time it was over, it was like, whatever, 1 p.m. or something. And you come out and all these people are, you know, trying to get back the same way that you came. But it was a fun experience. The Korean one was different. I didn't enjoy the Korean one as much as the Japan one. I think it's just because of the fight card, maybe. But
Have you ever
well, it
been?
was a big pay-per-view. We saw, what's his name, Ben Henderson won
Benson
won
against
the
Frankie
championship.
Edgar. Frankie Edgar.
Yeah, he won the belt. That was a big thing.
It was huge.
The Korean one, obviously, there was no belts on the line or anything like that.
I tell you what, though, like as far as UFC goes, fair enough. But Road FC is the Korean version of the UFC.
I haven't heard of this.
It's like a feeder kind of group towards the UFC.
Okay.
But it's like they do it real well, you know, like it's very well promoted and very well organized. So it's pretty much the UFC, but the Korean version. And it's great because the venues are like usually quite like compact.
And it's getting bigger
And
every
it's-
year.
Yeah, and it's like such a good time, man. Like if anybody fancies it, you should look it up because the Road FC, it's cheap. It's usually Seoul, Busan. We went to see one in Wonju, which was fantastic. You know, like such a cool little stadium. It was all kind of like, it was like an oval almost, wasn't it? You know, it's like
Yeah.
a pit.
The last one I saw was in Busan.
Yeah, that was cool too. But like that's definitely worth checking out. You know, I mean, I know UFC's here now, but it's like few and far between. But the Road FCs, they must have like 6 or 7, 8 a year, and they're all like not too far away because Korea's obviously not a huge place, is it? You know,
Right.
it's worth checking out.
When I was in Okinawa there, they only had about 7 different channels on our TV. And one of them was like constant sumo wrestling. And I was watching that shit and I was like fascinated. Because I'm looking at the size of these guys and just like how hard they're coming at each other. And there was one guy who wasn't even Japanese. He looked like he was like Greek or something.
Yeah.
And he was huge. And it's pretty fascinating. I remember at one point I looked at them and I was like, man, can you imagine the size of the poops these guys must have? And we're like, how much do they eat? How much do they eat in a day? You know,
It's all absorbed. They don't poop. It's just like little tiny pellets.
Yeah. Have you ever seen anything about those guys, like how they train and how they like get into it?
I was thinking like it'd be interesting to make a documentary just about sumo. You know?
I think I've seen something about like sumo wrestlers and how they like. I think there was one guy who was a foreigner and he thought, okay, I want to be a sumo wrestler, and he went to Japan and he sort of immersed himself in the whole thing. But there's so much background and like culture about sumo. It's not just like the fight. There's so much about it that like the average foreigner, I guess, wouldn't even think about, you know.
Okay.
But they have to get like really deep into the whole like culture and like the history of it all and all that.
So it's almost like a culture all on its own. Like
it's like geishas, you know, like it's all like, you know.
You got to learn how to play instruments and entertain people and sing and all that.
Yeah.
I've seen something on sumo wrestling. I don't know if it was a documentary or something, but I saw how well sumo wrestlers are treated and shit. And
oh yeah, they're like royalty.
They all have like
Golden gods.
5 or 6 girls with them all time.
Really?
You were talking about them taking a shit. Like the girls help them and stuff.
Really?
Like hold their hand and like
just everything.
Coax it out.
Wipe their ass to everything.
Wow.
I'm not that wouldn't make me very comfortable. I think.
No.
I'm in the wrong line of work.
But
What do you want to be, like a geisha? What do you want to be?
Yeah, because maybe
it sounds exciting.
maybe they can't reach around to wipe themselves.
Actually, that's a good point.
Yeah,
some of them. I
because their
think some of
torsos are
them like that.
massive, man.
This is probably back before the day of the B-Day, too. So with B-Days now and stuff, I guess you don't need your little
Yeah, those are pretty common in Japan.
Japanese
Yeah.
girl to do that for you type thing. So they can just use the B-Day and
Yeah, they probably just prepare meals for them and stuff, right? Like,
have monkeys above them shitting on them.
Show them how to do it.
a lot of
Imagine
excrement talk here.
Getting a poncho to fit one of those guys. How much plastic that would take.
We keep veering into the scatological
I don't know.
discussions.
I blame you.
Is it my fault? Yeah, I guess I was the first one to bring it up.
Yeah, you trailblazed that one.
But that was very innocent, though. That was an actual real experience. I feel
Yeah,
I feel like Scott's the one the one to blame here. You know what I mean? So anyway, mate, how long were you in Okinawa?
About 9 days, but I could have easily done it in 7. Like,
Yeah.
The last couple of days, we were just kind of like looking around, like, well, it's not much to do now, you know, like
Right.
pretty much seen everything.
You'd imagine it was like Boracay or something where like, I've never been to either places, but I've heard like you can only stay there for a certain amount of
Yeah,
time.
I got bored. I went to Boracay about 3 or 4 years ago, and I got bored with that place pretty quickly, actually. But it was beautiful. It's really nice beaches and everything, but there's just not much to do.
Right, like just pretty much on the beach, drinking, swimming,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I got my sunglasses stolen by a monkey on Boracay.
You just see him drive away and like
No, he was in a cage, and I was leaning beside him trying to get a picture. My girlfriend at the time was just about to take the picture, and the monkey reached out of the cage, grabbed my Ray-Bans, and just started like breaking them and chewing on them, like in the cage, and we couldn't get it. And I was like,
giving you the middle finger. He's like, come on, come at me.
And we did this really nice excursion where we rented horses and we took them all the way up this mountain. So we were like riding the horses down the whole time. I'm just like, fuck, you know, like those sunglasses are so expensive.
It's so bright. It's so bright right now.
Yeah. Now my eyes are killing me. Yeah.
Oh God, that's
Did you eat monkey brain that night for dinner?
No, but I have eaten pig's brain in Shanghai before.
Oh yeah,
That was quite an experience.
yeah.
Yeah.
Pig's brain, a lot of people eat, even back in the States and Canada.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought it was just a Chinese thing.
Cow brain, no? That's what head cheese is.
Oh, yeah. I've heard of cow brain, I think. But we were at a place that was just like, they call it a hot pot. And it's kind of like your Korean samgyeopsal restaurant where it's all communal, but it's instead of like a grill, it's just like a cauldron filled with like boiling oil. And you just throw in all kinds of different meat and stuff. And I had just a little bit of pig's brain, but
It's pretty dark.
Fatty fondue.
yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. What's the craziest thing you've ever eaten, guys? I mean, that sounds terrible.
Probably, yeah, either the pig's brain or the...
Her name was...
Oh, come on. Let's not go down this dark road.
I'd say, it's probably the pig brain for me or the live baby octopus in Korea.
Yeah, I've done that
Saknakji.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really stressful to eat, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's moving. And
You gotta fight it down.
You got to chew and chew and chew before it stops sticking in your mouth.
or else it gets stuck in your
Yeah.
trachea or whatever, you know.
It's not really...
Also, considering they're supposed to be so intelligent and stuff,
Yeah,
eating something so smart.
that's true.
As opposed to a chicken or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
I've had them-
Pigs are supposed to be really smart too.
Yeah, exactly.
Some
Right.
pig.
Yeah. I've had a bunch of dog stuff in Thailand. Like we had cockroach, we had locusts, and what was it? A little bit of snake blood at one point, and shark.
Like in a shot glass, or like how would you?
Just like a little, like a little bit, like one of the Thai guys. And I don't know, like it's a big thing there in Vietnam and in Thailand, you know. They like the snake blood. Apparently it gives you like stamina and all that. You know how they do it, you know.
Yeah, anything penis looking.
Yeah, like it's like stamina.
eel.
Yeah, eel. Eel's all right, actually.
Yeah, I like eel.
Grilled, it's okay. In a soup, it's not.
I like
It's not.
both, actually.
You do?
Yeah. But the first time I did try the stew or the soup or whatever, it's called, I'm blanking on it. But anyway, chuatong.
Chuatang.
Yeah.
Oh, chuatang is that eel?
Yeah, there's eel.
I thought it was a different kind of fish.
No, there's eel in that.
Okay.
And
I like that.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
But the first time I tried it, I was kind of like, wow, this tastes really weird for me. And
Yeah.
it took a couple more tries. But now I love it.
It's like that, like kind of like it's got like a funny seasoning that you put in, and it's real like
Yeah.
zingy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's nice. It's quite nice. That. Have you guys ever eaten dog? Let's throw that out there.
I haven't done it.
I did it a few times when I first moved to Korea, but nowadays I think it's kind of fallen out of the tradition here, and like a lot of people frown upon it, even like, Korean people. So I haven't had the opportunity. I don't even see the restaurants around anymore. I'm sure there are a couple in Changwon, but I just don't know where they are.
They're definitely around.
Yeah.
I was the same as you. Like I was here for 1 year. I thought I was going to be here like only for the 1 year. So I thought, okay, I'm in Korea. I love dogs. I've got one. But I thought, when in Korea, you might as well give it a go.
Yeah.
So I tried it twice. And actually, I tried it once knowingly. Then I thought, okay, that's enough for me. And then the next time, the guy that I was at the gym with took me for lunch. And we were eating. And I was like, oh, this is a bit weird. What is this? He's like, oh, it's a dog. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Number two.
Warn someone.
You know? So, yeah, whatever.
It's a pretty hearty meal, though. Like, it's really filling.
Yeah.
Every time I go back home, they're like, "Did you eat dog?" I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I haven't eaten dog yet.
Yeah, right. The problem with it is it's fair enough. If if you're a meat eater, I disbelieve that you should be like frowning upon eating any kind of meat. But the problem with the dog is the way that they kind of prepare the meat.
Yeah, the way they treat it.
Pre-kill. It's not cool.
Yeah, it's not cool at all.
Not at all. So
Kind of like that with almost any animal, though. Like it's bad with dogs because they're their pets, B, the way they're killed. But like cows and stuff, and what do they call it, like farm, not a farm, but like mass market production places.
Yeah.
Most animals are not treated too nice that we consume.
yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, I heard like where they make them sleep and stuff too is pretty filthy. Just like,
even chickens.
yeah.
I mean, there's so many
Like battery.
documentaries now and stuff.
Yeah.
I love eating chicken and like beef and stuff, but like I've never had a connection with a chicken. Like I've had dogs where like, you can just feel their love.
But you've never really spent any time with a chicken, though. I'd say, like where you spend a time.
I used to own ducks. Actually, I used to own a pig too.
Oh yeah.
Pet pig.
Really?
Pig was awful. It would hump you any chance it got. So you got to eat that.
Fair enough. Yeah. How did you come about owning a pig that used to hump you?
So when I was very young,
So many questions.
so many questions in one statement. When I was really young, my parents got a divorce. And so for my birthday, my dad bought me a pig. He knew that I was living with my mother in like a small house. So he was like 2 for 1. Like he's going to make me happy and he's going to piss my mom off. So she had to take care of this pig. And we'd feed it like ramyun and it would just eat out of the little trough. And then my brothers would like feed it bacon, which I would be like, why? Why would you do
that's
that?
cannibalism.
No, come on, that's dark.
Yeah.
What happened to the pig?
My mother sold it.
Did you get it when it was a piglet or when it was a
Yeah, it
full-grown
was a
pig?
little black belly pig.
That's
Okay.
a funny move on your dad's behalf.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Oh, my
hey.
dad is like he's not the smartest man, but he's crafty.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dad, I love you.
And how many ducks did you have?
I had 4 ducks, and they got struck by lightning.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it gets dark on the
Wow.
on the farm.
So what happened after they got struck by lightning?
I don't know. I didn't see them. Like, they were just like a puff of smoke.
Is that not like a story that they made up? It's like,
I was gonna
by
say.
the way, for dinner tonight we have a duck stew.
Duck l'orange.
That might be what you were told.
Was it one bolt of lightning that killed
Well,
all
it was
4 of
like
them?
it was a thunderstorm, and they all like congregated under a tree, and the tree got hit. And so they're just mangled.
Shit. So it was probably just like feathers and smoke, eh?
Did you see the evidence or
No, I was too young. They wouldn't show me the bodies.
Yeah.
probably?
Yeah. This all
I need to
fits.
identify the
Probably
bodies.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
This all fits. It all fits.
You confirm it. You know,
Yeah, I don't. It probably
go to the morgue. The coroner's like, "Are these your ducks?" No, that didn't happen.
There are some really good duck restaurants up in Jiangyu
Oh yeah.
near the waterfalls and stuff. It's really good.
All right.
I don't like duck. It's
No?
too oily for me, I think.
It depends how it's cooked though.
Yeah.
It's delicious. There's a good place actually up in Changwon by the mountain. Is it the back of Sapadong? The bottom of the mountain. There's a real nice duck place.
Oh, yeah. I used to
Yeah.
live in that neighborhood. I think I know
Yeah.
exactly where you're talking about. It's like an outdoor restaurant.
Yeah, it's
right?
like outdoor. You've got to go a little bit up the mountain, a little bit, and
Yeah.
then you turn right, and it's right there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they've got like lovely like seating areas outside.
Yeah, shit. I haven't
Real
been there in
nice
years.
place. Yeah, it's quite expensive,
Yeah.
but it's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I guess we can wrap up this episode.
All right.
So I guess we won't be visiting any monkey shitting, snowboarding places that offer dog for lunch.
Just gotta mash that
tying
in
it
the
all
comments.
in.
Just tied it all in. Eh?
Tie it all in.
Don't forget the lightning ducks.
The Lightning Ducks, which you probably didn't even.
That's a good band name, by the way.
Lightning
The
Ducks?
Lightning Ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
You probably didn't even have any trees on your property. Did you?
It's like, what tree? Oh, yeah. We took
There's
the tree
so many
down.
trees.
Well, the lightning took care of the tree, so.
I did have a duck in college too. My roommate and his friends showed up with a duck from the flea market,
Right.
and we named him Launchpad and a Quack, which is awful if you have a small apartment and a duck, because it just takes over everything.
In what way? What does it do?
It just shits everywhere, and like you try to like be cool with it and touch it, and like you gotta wear your poncho.
Poncho.
And it's a poncho duck.
Why do you always have obscure? What have you got here, for Christ's sake?
Listen, like West Virginia is a beautiful place.
Right.
I will not let you talk ill of the
I'm
great
not.
state.
I'm not. I'm just asking you what kind of pet you've got here.
I don't have pets.
Okay.
I ate them all.
Jesus.
Ponchos. Are ducks noisy?
Yeah, I mean they quack, you know.
I know they do, but I'm just wondering.
Like
If
and
you
it's,
have
it's,
one
it's
in
not
a
even
small
like
house, is it that all it does?
it's unprovoked noise. Like, you know, like dogs bark when they hear intruders or something. It's just
Yes.
like ducks like "Rah," you know, just
Constantly.
yeah.
Just constantly.
You bring a
being
girl
aware.
home and it's like "Rah," it's not happening.
What a question for you though? If you bring a girl home and you have a duck in your small apartment, what does she think about that?
There's no ducking.
It's weird though. Having any kind of pet, like I've got cats, it's kind of weird. Some nights I'll just be lying there and all of a sudden my cats will be, like their heads will pop up and they're staring at something in the corner and all the lights are off. It's kind of creepy.
Oh yeah.
Same with maybe a dog or something
Well,
like that.
it's funny you should say that because I take my dog out on the same route. Like, you know, between going to the park or just like in the evening, I take him around the streets. But for this one period of time, I was taking him up the road to the main road and along the street, and he refused to move, and he wanted to just go back home. And he was staring at something like right ahead, and he was terrified of it. And there was nothing there. And then, like, there's nobody around. It's super dark and quiet. And I'm like, oh, this is very creepy.
Yeah.
And all he wants to do is go home. So you turn around and he just wants to run home. I'm like, oh, well, there's obviously something there that we cannot see and the dog can't see. It's pretty creepy.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
But it makes life more fun. So maybe I'll try monkey next. See what they can see that we can't see. Other though, I think they're quite clever
Yeah. Like the octopus.
They steal your sunglasses.
Yeah.
and do other things. I mean, who's the smarter one? The people that go to that restaurant or the monkeys themselves? How do you protect your food in those places?
Well, they have like the bar / restaurant separate from the monkey like room. Like the monkey room is like You know, there's a door and glass windows that separate you from it. So
You just go in there to get shit on.
So you're not allowed to take like drinks or food or anything in there, right?
they're probably not. Yeah,
Only
but they give you
almonds.
they give you little almonds or little snacks to give them if you want to feed them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Oh, and the girls, the waitresses, they have like a fake monkey tail coming out the back of their pants.
Is it fake?
Pretty sure it is. Yeah.
Pretty sure.
It's probably the girls in the other room. Just the lights are turned down. Can't notice.
Yeah.
They don't actually have monkeys. But anyway, on that note, Adam, how can people get in touch with you if they want to?
I'm on Facebook, Adam Maxwell Kent, University of Toronto.
And Phil?
I'm also on Facebook, Adam Maxwell Kent from Toronto. Philip Wayne Stanley.
Boom.
You made it sound like you're still going to the University of Toronto.
Never graduated.
No, taking a few years off. And Mr. Roberts.
Facebook, Paul Roberts. No middle name. Was never gifted one.
What?
No middle name. Can you fucking believe
You
that?
can have mine. We can
Everybody
share
takes
it.
the piss, right?
Yeah.
It's like Paul Roberts. My sister's called Gail Roberts. No need for a middle name.
Yeah.
What
You
would you
only
ever
need
want a middle name for? What's it for?
alias.
You know what it's for? It's for pissing you off when you have to sign forms because you have to write more shit. Right? That's it.
Yeah, I never used my middle name.
What is your middle name?
Philip.
That's horrible.
Oh, it
Terrible
is.
middle name.
Oh, Philip's a great name.
I have a few names, I think. I don't know from what, like confirmation and other religious things, but never use them.
You got screwed. Philip's an awful name.
So anyway, anybody wants to get in touch with me, just anything at Changwoner, whether it's website, Facebook, or Twitter, or anything like that. So thanks for coming by, Paul.
Pleasure.
It's good having you on here again.
Thank you for bringing your beard. It's luxurious.
It's got a life of its own.
It's monkey-like.
Looking very Santa Clausy.
It's ice cream. I was eating dessert.
Father Christmas.
And so yeah, you can tune in next week for our next episode of the Changwoner Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to the Changwoner Podcast. Stay tuned for our next episode.